Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back here to McMorran Place. Prowlers and Wolves getting set to drop the puck on their only meeting of the 2024-25 regular season. Will Wiggleman here to take you through it on the PHP Network. Welcome in all the Watertown Wolves fans who may be watching, Prowlers fans, of course, who are watching as well. Should be a great one for you here tonight. And let's get you set for tonight's matchup, and we'll start by taking a look at the last games for both of these teams, starting with the Prowlers. On Saturday night, they were in Danbury, facing the Hat-Tricks for the fifth time out of their last 6 games. They end up falling 3-2 in overtime after coming back from a 2-0 deficit in the third period. It was the third straight matchup between those teams to go beyond regulation. It was Kyle Gonzalez, the OT hero that time, and that was just his second game-winning goal this season, just the third for his career, and both of his game winners this season have come against the Prowlers. Hat-Tricks end up taking 4 of the 6 meetings in the regular season series. Meanwhile, for the Watertown Wolves, they played a 3-3 that wrapped up on Sunday against the Carolina Thunderbirds, and they avoided the sweep with a 5-2 victory, as Watertown scored 4 unanswered to end that game. Trevor Lord had a 3-point night, Davide Gaeta with a goal and an assist, and that's how Watertown has operated this season. Their high-end talent, when they're on, they can win some hockey games. They can certainly outscore their opposition. But they got some help in net by acquiring Brendan Colgan last week from the Baton Rouge Zydeco. He made 58 saves in his Wolves debut. Take a look at the Empire Division standings. The Hat-Tricks now up to a 5-point lead on Watertown for second in the division, 10 points up on Port Huron. Rockers lead on the Venom for the final play-in spot, down to 9 points, and the Venom still with 5 games in hand on Motor City. So that's a race that's certainly far from over. But the Wolves 5 points up on the Prowlers in third place, so that is also a big race to watch, and this is the only opportunity for the Wolves and Prowlers to take points away from each other at all this season. Well, the Wolves have gotten a big performance this year from the rookie Trevor Graspy, his first full pro season after being a collegiate signing for Watertown last year out of Morrisville State. He spent 3 years there and was the captain last year. Leads the FPHL with 49 assists, up to 55 points this season. And he was named the FPHL's Rookie of the Month for the month of February after 14 assists and 17 points in just 9 games. Graspy riding a 5-game assist streak with 4 multi-assist efforts in that span. So if the Wolves score a goal, there's a very good chance that Trevor Graspy set it up in one way or another. Well, Matt Graham has been on an absolute tear as of late, especially since the calendar flipped to 2025 just about 2 months ago. 18 games for Graham in that time, 11 goals, 23 points. His point in 16 of the 18 games he's played in the calendar year 2025, including 8 of his last 9. Graham now riding a 5-game goal streak, which is the longest by a Prowler this season. And he's just 2 points away from tying Dalton Jay, of course the former longtime Prowler, for third most points in FPHL history. And for those of you Watertown fans tuning in, you may remember a very young Matt Graham breaking into the FPHL with the Watertown Privateers many moons ago. Well, Prowlers switching up their lines ahead of tonight's game just a little bit as they put Graham alongside Reggie Millette and Lucas Lockney. So loading up that top line with three of their best players this season. Jamie Bussell gets two new wingers in Austin Federley and Dylan Marty after Bussell spent last weekend alongside Millette, and for a brief time on Friday, Stephen DC, who's now on the IR, and then Vinny DeCumbis the rest of the weekend. But DeCumbis will now be alongside Kenny Stiles and Luke James, and Tristan Sim draws back into the lineup after missing the last 2 weeks with injury. Sim is playing as the extra forward tonight. Defense pairings staying exactly the same. Alex Johnson and Ludwig Thelstrom, Brian Parsons and Brett Lockhart, and Adam Heinzel and Braden Simmons Fisher, with Ben Brockway still on the IR. Valtteri Nusiainen will be between the pipes tonight for the Port Huron Prowlers, as the Watertown Wolves getting set to hit the ice here, and they will soon be followed by the Port Huron Prowlers. Should be a great game here tonight, and the only one between the FPHL's two current oldest franchises, the Wolves and the Prowlers. And I don't know who makes the schedule in the FPHL, but the Wolves and Prowlers only playing once despite being in the same division doesn't make too much sense to me. I'm sure it made sense to somebody, and that's why it is the way that it is. But the Wolves will have to travel down to Baton Rouge later on this season. They have already traveled to Biloxi, Mississippi. Seawolves have traveled up to Watertown at a point already this season. Those are the longest trips, certainly, in the FPHL. Going from all the way up in the Northeast, all the way down to Baton Rouge and Mississippi down on the Gulf Coast. Let's take it down to ice level for the rest of tonight's pregame ceremonies.
Spirit, Ashlyn, Carly, Chloe, Jen, Maddie, Paige, and Serenity. The Prowlers Spirit are coached by Adam Knapp of the Seal. Spirit Director is Kristen Carlo. Somebody scream! It's time to meet tonight's Orthopedic Associates starting lineup. At forward, number 19, Austin Federley. At forward, number 46, Jamie Bussell. At forward, number 88, welcome to Port Huron, Dylan Marty. On defense, number 74, Adam Heinzel. On defense, number 85, welcome to Port Huron, Braden Simmons Fisher. And in goal, number 31, Valtteri Nusiainen. And let's welcome the rest of your Port Huron Prowlers. The head coach of the Prowlers is Matt Grant. Assistant coaches are Alex Johnson and Chris Baldwin. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and gentlemen, may we suggest removing your caps as we honor America and salute the men and women serving our country with the singing of our national anthem, sponsored by Duraclink by Mike Batchelor. We remind all members of the armed forces and veterans who are present but not in uniform that you may render the military salute. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a special welcome to Lydia Holcomb.
Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming,
guest singer tonight on the national anthem, Leah Holcomb, did a great job here at McMorran Place. We are moments away from puck drop between the Prowlers and the Watertown Wolves. But before we get there, we have a quick ceremonial puck drop, and we get an opportunity to take a look at tonight's starting goaltending matchup. It'll be Valtteri Nusiainen against Brendan Colgan. So we mentioned in the pregame show, Colgan getting his first win with the Wolves in his Wolves debut after 58 saves on Sunday against the Carolina Thunderbirds. He actually has already beaten the Prowlers this season as a member of the Baton Rouge Zydeco back on November the 21st, made 25 saves on 27 shots that night. Meanwhile, Valtteri Nusiainen got back in the win column a week ago in Danbury and now pulls himself within a win from tying Corey Simons in the 2018-19 season for the third winningest season by a goaltender in Prowlers franchise history. Also a win away from breaking a tie with Wyatt Hopland for the sixth most career wins as a Prowler. We're just about set for puck drop here at McMorran Place. Prowlers and the Wolves for the only time this season. It will be Jamie Bussell and Trevor Graspy in on the face-off. Wolves starting with their top line of Graspy, Lord, and Gaeta. And they'll have former Prowlers captain Dustin Henning on defense alongside Bryce Dershell. We hold for puck drop, and now we are all set to go. And this FPHL weekend has officially started, and it starts with a big rocking hit from Dylan Marty on the veteran Dustin Henning. There's Austin Federley. Dumps it right in on Colgan. Blockers to the corner. Marty puts it down behind the net. Federley tried to center back to Marty, and Colgan able to clamp the glove down on top. Well, Dylan Marty is here in Port Huron because of his ability to do that. Throw hits, finish checks. We saw it on Alexander Vasilyev and Danbury, and Vasilyev ended up on the IR in a play that didn't look like too much. But Marty certainly throws his weight around. This is his third career FPHL and pro game. And he threw a big hit on Dustin Henning, veteran of 455 FPHL games. Henning sends it off the boards right to Graspy. That one off of Gaeta's stick, and Bussell back in all by himself. Prowlers in the midst of a change. Gets it back to Simmons. Fisher at the line. Whips it across towards Lockney. And now down behind the net, looking for Millette. Graspy got in between. Henning off the boards, gave it away. Here's Graham, poked off his stick by Gaeta. Wolves work up. Here's Graspy, had to catch up to it, and Brett Lockhart beat him there. Wrapped it around towards Millette. And now he goes back behind his own net. Reggie Millette working his way in. Takes the shot, and a save by Colgan as he swallows it up. Reggie Millette showing off his ability to go end to end. He can certainly take over a game when he wants. A lot of fun to watch. Number 38 in black tonight. Face off to Colgan's left between Graham and Trevor Newman, number 15. It looks like we'll try it again, maybe Newman being excused from the face-off. Actually, Newman stays in, so does Graham. Just kidding, they kicked them both out. And still be Millette against Carter Thornton, number 62. He's looking to get himself back on the score sheet, currently on a career-high 4-game point drought. Wrapped around to Lockney. Tried to go to Graham behind the net. That was taken away by another FPHL veteran defenseman, Kyle Powell. Tipped in by Newman. Delayed offside, though, against the Wolves. So they have to go back and touch up. Alex Johnson gets to set up the breakout. Over to Lockhart. Makes a move, and headman's up to Graham. Takes a look, drops it off for Luke James, fresh off the bench, and James took a hard hit. Delstrom lost it. They let it on for Thornton, but he couldn't bring in the pass, and that's an icing against Watertown. Plenty of whistles here in the first 2 minutes. Shots 2-0 Prowlers. Early stages of this one. The draw coming all the way back down Colgan's end. Acquired back on February the 23rd for a player to be named later. And he's already made his mark with the Wolves. A 58 save performance against the Carolina Thunderbirds on Sunday, helping Watertown not get swept in the 3-game series. James blocked away a pass. Now he gets up to it. In front looking for Vinny DeCumbus. And now James recollects. Parsons at the line, walks down the wall and floats it all the way across. Styles, first one there. Bounce up top, Delstrom a drive, and Colgan swallows it up and leaves no rebound. Again, another whistle and another face-off. And another change for the Port Huron Prowlers. They send the Bucell line back out there that started this game. We'll take the draw to Colgan's left. One back by Whalen. Tossed out, glove down, and Bucell plays it back to Simmons Fisher. Federley tried to feed a pass across. Comes back to Simmons Fisher, and touched him by Bucell. Declan Flanagan gave it over. Goes up to Whalen, and now he turns and heads up ice. Flanagan touches it deep. Nucianen plays it to Simmons Fisher. The big man taken into the boards by Lincoln Gingrich. Mark Botero a turnaround try, and that one missed on the short side. Adam Heinzel got it just out of the zone, and chasing after it now is Dominic Della Civita, number 88, making his pro debut, signed as a collegiate player on Wednesday, rookie out of Misericordia University. Graspy, got a return feed for Gaeta on his backhand. He curls, gives up to Lord. His shot just missed on the short side. Millette digging away, pushed around, and it's Lockhart. Up for Lockney, Graham, up for Millette, one-on-one. Millette back to Graham, he shoots, saved by Colgan, and he got the rebound too, and then Lockney pushed it wide. Lockney pushes it up top. Johnson over to Millette. Now Lockhart in deep, all the way around the cage. Off for Johnson. Looking down low to Graham. That one off a stick and out of play. With the Prowlers getting some offensive zone time here. Able to whip it around just a little bit. And Brendan Colgan making a couple of good saves on Matt Graham, the hottest goal scorer on the Prowlers right now. Up to a team high 16 this season. And he's riding a 5-game goal streak, longest by a Prowler this year. A couple of good stops by Colgan on Graham there on that rush. Prowlers with the game's first 6 shots already, and we're just over 4 minutes in. Lord won it back. Prowlers in on the forecheck. It's Henning, bounces it up to Graspy. Delstrom has some trouble with it, able to recollect and dump it back deep. Dershell launches it out all the way down. Graspy will win the race for icing. Nucianen plays it away and over to Thelstrom. Now Thornton collects in the offensive zone. Bumped off the puck. Parsons got it up to Federley. He just backhands it out and sends Dershell chasing. Henning collects off the boards. Long lead pass looking for Thornton. Marty got a piece of it. Here's DeBari, had it knocked away by Parsons. Bucell looks to turn up ice. Makes a move on the boards, finds some space. He gets the red line, dumps it in, heads off for a change. Colgan left it there for his defense. Kyle Powell, a veteran of 8 FPHL seasons. One of the leaders in points by a defenseman in FPHL history, Kyle Powell. There's Simmons Fisher now for Port Huron. Weaving his way through center. Gets in, drops it off. Quick shot stopped by Colgan. Leapt a rebound. Prowlers couldn't get back on net. Kenny Stiles collects. Cycling for DeCumbus, but he ran into the referee, and that allows Powell to exit the zone. Heinzel now. Backhander up towards James. Guarded all the way across. Simmons Fisher. Now it's tipped in by Millette. Taken in hard by Della Savita. Cross corner dump. Simmons Fisher gets there with Flanagan. And now Lockney trying to move it up the boards. Taken away by Botero. Simmons Fisher turning and moving it out of the zone. Millette hands off for Graham, has Lockney with him. Decides to go back to Millette. Sports to the wall. Johnson walks the blue line. Over to Lockhart. Back to Alex Johnson. Takes a look. Goes down low to Millette. And Johnson once more. Lockhart sent it on. And another save by Colgan, clutching it to his chest. Prowlers up on shots. 8-0. Still haven't found the back of the net, though. We'll take our first time out of the game with 13:33 left to go in the Munger Physical Therapy first period.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network, providing resources and funding to help start or grow your business. Small business support in participating Region 6 counties. Take advantage of the network's free training and events for entrepreneurs and small business owners. The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network aims to boost your chances of success. Learn more about the network's Small Business Cohort Program. With rentable workspaces, business coaching, training, and funding opportunities, it's time to become a client of the Eastern Michigan Small Business Network.
Back here in Port Huron, just under 6.5 minutes gone in the opening period. And Prowlers with all the shots, but nobody with a goal yet so far. And Port Huron still trying to break the ice, have the offensive zone face-off. Graham and Graspy once again having troubles staying in the face-off dot. It looks like they'll ask Graham to leave, and Lucas Lockney will take it instead. Lockney gets it to the boards. Graham chipped to the point. Lockhart try to send it down the wall. Good play by Dustin Henning to block it and skate it out of the zone. Gaeta shot. Blocker save by Nusiainen. His first stop of the night. Lockhart up towards Millette at the Prowler blue line. They couldn't connect, and that will go for icing against the Prowlers. Justin Coachman back behind the bench for the Watertown Wolves, hired back on December the 19th, his second coaching stint with the Wolves. He was their head coach for part of the 2022-23 season. He becomes the coach again after the Wolves get rid of Charlie Pence Jr. Now Graspy asked to lead the face-off. Lord will take it instead. Graspy lined up right behind. Now Graham wins it back clean. Johnson up for Graham, and now to Lockney. Has Millette with him. Lockney gets to the net. Lockney a backhand. He rose it too tall and out of play. Lucas Lockney able to churn the wheels, drop the shoulder, and just skate around the Watertown defense. Got himself a good opportunity, but just couldn't find the target, trying to go upstairs on Brendan Colgan, who's been sharp early on in this game. Prowlers again buzzing in the offensive zone as Federley sent it right through the crease. Marty heads after the loose puck. Cycles down, cut off by Grasty, gave it away. Bussell tried to stuff it, and Colgan right there to make the save. Lord on the right wing, tosses it in. Simmons Fisher blew a tire. Gaeta tried a centering feed that was behind Grasby. Prowlers work out. Federley across to Heinzel, has Marty with him, but Dylan Marty a bit too anxious to get into the offensive zone. He is offside at the Watertown line. Potential 2-on-1 there for the Prowlers, but Dylan Marty just couldn't time it right. Another face-off outside the Watertown end. James trying to lift Dabari's stick. And Tristan Sim involved in that battle now. Parsons got it down deep. Della Savita back around this way to Flanagan. Moved up the boards. Carter Thornton tosses it all the way down. Dabari wins the race for the puck, turning away from Thelstrom. Dabari stapled to the glass by Parsons. Sim touches it along for DeCumbis, and he's sent down to the ice by Della Savita. Tossed out and collected by Parsons in his own end. On for Luke James. DeCumbis hands off for Graham. He's in a tight spot along the boards, couldn't make a pass out, and Botero looks to work the other direction. Newman had it poked off his stick. And now Lockhart retreats to his own end. Forster right up the far side boards. Gingrich and Graham got there together. Parsons now will hang out behind his own net and reverse for Lockhart. 11:11 left to go in period one as it's touched in by Millette. Henning has to deal with Millette, who went tumbling into the boards. Botero looks to work out. Lockney right in on him. Graham involved as well, and it's tossed to Prowler ice, collected there by Brett Lockhart. Millette couldn't find Lockney. Gaeta on the counter. Tried to make a move around Johnson, who played it perfectly, but then overskated the puck. Gaeta and Johnson come together in the corner. Bussell takes over. Now on for Lockney into the offensive zone. Millette looks towards the net. Shot stopped by Colgan. The rebound pinballed all the way to the Watertown blue line. Lord looks around Heinzel. Rising try. And Nusiainen got a piece. Dershell kept it in. Grasby all the way across to Powell. Walks in. Makes a move and a save by Valtteri Nusiainen. He leaves no rebound. Nusiainen able to stop the best chance of the game so far for Watertown, staring down the veteran Kyle Powell. He's had an interesting ride here to Watertown. He was listed as failed to report by HC Venom and then listed as suspended for the rest of the year on the league website, as all players who are listed as failed to report are at the beginning of December. And then randomly, he signed with the Wolves back on January the 6th. Here's Federley on a breakaway, and he just missed wide, but he drew a penalty. And he styles trying to collect the puck. Heinzel now behind the net. Out to Marty. Rister over top of the cage. Millette across to Marty. Simmons Fisher walks. Prowlers with 6-on-5 advantage on the delayed penalty, but now Gaeta touches up, and Port Huron will get the game's first man advantage when we come back, and it is the aforementioned Kyle Powell heading to the box. Take a timeout here at McMorran Place.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not
a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken bag, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
Back here in Port Huron, Kyle Powell to the box for slashing. Prowlers to the game's first man advantage with 9:36 left to go in period one. And as I was talking about with Powell, he signed with the Wolves on January the 7th despite being listed as ineligible to play for the rest of the season. And he is actually still listed on HC Venom's inactive list, which is just a bizarre situation. But right now, the Prowlers trying to take advantage of his penalty. They'll have to go and chase. And I have no answers, by the way, in case anyone wants to ask why. But certainly Kyle Powell happy he's able to play for Watertown right now. Johnson sent it all the way around, and Millette had it tapped past him by Newman. So Federley back for it. Prowlers power play, 1 for 6 last weekend against Danbury, 11th in the FPHL, 18.1%. Lockney trying to drive, had it knocked off his stick by Dershell. He wraps it all the way around, kept in by Millette. Prowlers set up, Federley down to Lockney on the half wall. Up high, Federley, Millette takes the shot, that was partially blocked. Lockney back to the top. Federley got it through traffic, deflected wide. Halfway through this Prowlers power play. Millette to Graham. Federley one-timer, and he sent it just wide to the blocker side of Colgan. Graham in front looking for Johnson, had his stick lifted as pushed just out of the zone. Prowlers will begin a change. Quick up goes to Lockney. Back in, makes a move, and it's picked up by Simmons Fisher in the near side corner. Millette to Lockney, whips it across. Lockhart makes a move, tried to get to the forehand, and a good play by Trevor Lord. Millette collects off the boards to Lockhart at the top. Now Lockney looks towards the net, save Colgan, and Simmons Fisher grabs the rebound. Back up high, Millette unloads the one-timer, his stick fails him, and one last clear. Was going to take care of this Prowlers power play, but instead it went into the Watertown bench, and 4 seconds remain on the Port Huron man advantage. An offensive zone faceoff coming for the Prowlers. Credited right now with just 1 shot on net on this power play, but certainly 3 or 4 attempts at least to the cage. Powell up and ready to exit the sin bin as Whalen and Stiles get set for the face-off. Tied up, Tecumseh lost the handle, Parsons pinching down the wall. Moved it behind the net, but it eluded James. Delstrom at the point, got it in, and rose over top of the net. Powell gonna make that pass as James picked it off, but his pass to Parsons bounced over his stick, and Brian Parsons dumps it right back in. 7:10 left to go here in period one. Prowlers 0 for 1 on the man advantage, as the Wolves' 8th ranked PK in the FPHL was able to kill it off. Sent all the way down, Parsons first on it. Ian Delstrom involved in a 2-a-side scrum. Stiles came in to help out. Marcus Depwolf in there as well. One-timer by Whalen, juggled and held by Valtteri Nusiainen, as Dershell found Whalen for a one-timer in the high slot. 34-year-old Andrew Whalen, also playing with the Tillsonburg Thunder in the OSHL, Ontario Senior Hockey League, this season. Got a good opportunity there. He has 7 goals and 20 points in 24 games for the Wolves this season, as Dershell's shot didn't get all the way through. Lofted out, clubbed down by Marty at the Watertown blue line. Dangles around Dershell, centering feed. Couldn't get it cleanly to Bussell. Bussell turnaround try off the back glass. Federley up top. Simmons Fisher tried to push it back down. Instead, it's dumped in by Dempwolf. Dempwolf making his pro debut, signed as one of those collegiate/junior signings, as he was playing in the PJHL this season. Wolves starting a breakout here. Pass didn't get to Newman, and now Lockhart's in. Across to Graham. One eluded him. Millette got it back deep, and it's back on the stick of Powell. Up to Dabari. Lockhart picks his pocket, but ran into Lockney. Loose puck, Lockhart pokes it down to Millette. Newman takes over, lofts it out, and again Brett Lockhart cuts it off. Works in himself, gets around one. He's knocked down, Lockney to the net, and a pad save by Colgan. Dabari back over the Prowler blue line. Dances in, got it across, and Gaeta didn't get much on that shot as his stick broke in two pieces. Penalty coming up against the Prowlers, a slashing call, likely related to the broken stick of Davide Gaeta. So we'll get the first man advantage of the night for the Watertown Wolves. Still not sure which Prowler is heading to the box. Looks like it will be Matt Graham. Tonight's referees are Paul Jean and Jonathan Sitarski, the linesman Colin Pons, and David Fleming. They put the fourth-ranked power play in the FPHL on the man advantage in the Watertown Wolves, 23.8% this season. Prowlers PK down to ninth, 79.6%. Powell tried to go to Lord. That wasn't a clean exchange. Simmons Fisher right there to disrupt. Wolves trying to regain control, sent towards the net, and Heinzel tips it over to the corner. Gaeta drags it through. Couple of stick moves. Now Lord a chance off the outside of the post. Had to settle it down for a moment, allowed Nucian to get over and maybe make that shot a little bit tougher for Trevor Lord. Powell down in the corner, up top to Lord. Walks the line, sent it through, and that one stopped by Nucianen or the post, I'm not sure. Lord walks again, takes it again, and this time Nucianen able to hang on for a whistle and a face-off. Minute 13 left on this Watertown power play. We'll have the rest of it for you when we come back here on the PHP Network.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
So much like the Prowlers' first power play, the Wolves with plenty of attempts on net, but only one shot so far. And it belongs to Trevor Lord. Watertown switching up the power play unit here. They have Patero, Newman, Thornton, Dabari, and Della Savita out there right now. Newman wins the faceoff back to Della Savita. Patero taken in by Johnson. Now Lockhart finds the puck, goes off the far boards, hit the dasher, and it bounces to Wolves ice. 4 minutes left in the Munger Physical Therapy first period. Dabari flies in, knocked away by Lockhart, and he sends it down ice again. 45 seconds to go on the slashing penalty to Matt Graham. Della Savita takes a look. Thornton comes back for the puck, and he flies up the left wing side. Works in, surrounded, had the puck taken by DeCumbus. Wolves keep it alive. Thornton bounces it back up top. Della Savita across to Dershell. Botero knocked down Adam Heinzel. Newman taken in. Dershell sent to pass over to Della Savita, but that's out of the zone. Loose puck. Simmons Fisher able to fight off Thornton. Heinzel fires it off the boards and out of the zone. Matt Graham steps out of the box, and a successful PK for the Prowlers. Both teams 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Newman tosses it in. Johnson pushed it out for Bussell with some skating room. On for Graham. Soft toss in. Dershell, some trouble with it. Bussell right there. The puck bounced behind the net. Here's Johnson who takes a look. And Colgan with the save. Brendan Colgan hangs on as Alex Johnson had some time to load up and fire from that high slot. Here on switch up the defense pairing here. Just over 2.5 left in period 1. Marty bounces up to Delstrom. Sent all the way around off the dasher. Battle for behind the net. And a loose puck grabbed by Dershell. That over to Gaeta. Has Graspy with him. 4 Prowlers back. Gaeta able to take a shot, but off a skate and out of play. This top line dangerous for Watertown. You look at Gaeta, who came over from the Venom on January the 2nd, tied for second in the FPHL with 29 goals. He's third in the league with 68 points. Also, Trevor Graspy, the leader in assists in the FPHL with 49. And of course, Trevor Lord, who's extremely dangerous in his own right. Led the Wolves with 44 assists and 70 points last year, did Trevor Lord. Here he is on the boards, sending it out to Graspy. Dumped around, Johnson chasing. Gaeta up the wall. Lockney able to chip it by Powell. And Ian McDonald flags it down in his own end. McDonald able to spin away from Lockney. Graham right in there on the forecheck. Now Lord around for Powell. McDonald once again. Almost had his pocket picked by Matt Graham. Powell just flings it off the glass all the way down. That will come in on Nusianis and no icing. Giveaway. Nusianis the save on Gingrich. Wolves still buzzing. Lord fed it across. Della Savita came back for it. We hit the final minute of play in period 1. Della Savita at the line. Sent it around. Stiles and Lord tied up. Delstrom comes in for the puck. He's harassed by a couple of Wolves. Got through to DeCumbus. Stiles tried to work his way up. Forced back to the neutral zone. Parsons over to Delstrom. Led on for Kenny Stiles. Able to slip it in deep, where Luke James grabs it. Try to back pass out in front. Popped up in the air. Glove down. Della Savita over to Flanagan. Now Botero up the boards. Kept in by Parsons. Floats it through. Deflection. They score! Luke James on the tip. And the Prowlers get a late one in period 1 to break the ice. Perfect shot by Brian Parsons, easily deflectable. And Luke James continues his hot offensive streak with his 4th goal of the season. Nice hand-eye coordination right in front And a big late goal for the Prowlers, type of goal that can be a backbreaker to give up. Here are the Watertown Wolves. Prowlers looking for one more as Federley tips it in. Final 10 seconds. Dershell tied up with Marty, just trying to eat the puck to the horn. It popped out, but the Prowlers, one more shot, save Colgan right at the horn as Alex Johnson got the last chance. The goal from Luke James, assisted by Brian Parsons, the only tally here in period number 1. Final shots favoring the Prowlers, 13-5. Well, coming up in Moses Rose's smoke break, first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We'll go around the Empire, check out all the highlights from last weekend's games. Also look at the storylines from around the league, at least some of them. Lots going on around the FPHL, from trading players to signing bench bosses and general managers. Plenty to chat about. We'll also take a look at the out-of-town scores as well. So keep it right here on the PHP Network for all your intermission coverage as the Prowlers lead the Watertown Wolves by a score of 1-0. The Prowlers are celebrating 10 seasons in Port Huron, and now is your chance to get special edition 10th anniversary gear at the Prowlers team store. Located on the west end of McMorran Arena at every home game or online anytime at prowlersmerch.com. You can scan the QR code on your screen now to visit the online shop. Look your POHO best with gear from the Prowlers team store. Pucks included as well at the Prowlers team store, so get them now while you can. And we will be right back here on the PHP Network with this week's edition of Around the Empire.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
Seriously, not even that much better than you.
Get at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Graham behind the net. Works out, he scores! Matt Graham picks the corner from the goal line, and the Prowlers win it in overtime. Lockhart able to force him out of the zone. Van Durken looking to turn it right back in. Drops it off. Gonzalez back to Van Durken. Backdoor feed. Frolov swung at it and missed. Van Durken back in front. Saved by Cooper. Comes out to Gonzalez. A shot. And he scores. Chaos in the Prowlers end. And Kyle Gonzalez ends it in overtime.
Godmere, he'll go now to the blocker side. Delaying, shoots, missed wide, and that'll do it.
Ties up Hunter for a moment, allows the change to finish. Knocked away from McDonald, 4:08 to go in the overtime period. 6-6 game. Left side, shot, scores, and Columbus takes it in OT.
Welcome back here to Port Huron. Prowlers with a 1-0 lead on the Watertown Wolves on the strength of a late Luke James tally. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Before we get to period number 2, let's take a look around the FPHL, and we start with our storylines from this week. Now, the first one, I'll start with Scott Brand becoming the new GM to lead the Mississippi Seawolves. That one didn't make the graphic, but he is now the new leader for the Mississippi Seawolves. Seawolves will be here in Port Huron in a couple of weeks. We'll see if he can help turn things around down in Biloxi. Another change in personnel. Steve Esau is out in Danville after going winless in 17 games after taking over for AJ Tesserero. No points for the Dashers in that time either, not a single overtime or shootout loss. 9 of the losses by 5 or more goals, including 3 of the 4 times they played the Prowlers in that span. And Esau made his coaching debut for the Dashers against the Prowlers. The weekend, Port Huron went to Danville, and the Dashers got outscored 16-1 that weekend. They hired Paul McLean as the replacement, who coached for the last Dashers franchise, also was behind the bench for the Elmira Enforcers, these Watertown Wolves at one point, and the Baton Rouge Zydeco briefly last season. Those are the roles he had been either a head coach or an associate coach. He was also briefly an assistant with the Delaware Thunder back in 2021-22. Hunter Hall is now a member of the Motor City Rockers after he requested a trade from the Blue Ridge Bobcats. 10 points in 23 games this season as the Rockers continue to add. Trade deadline is Monday. Motor City going to look a lot different next week when the Prowlers face them than they did the last time those two teams faced off. Meanwhile, the Venom adding a goaltender in Sam Best. They also added Nathan Butler, both from Monroe, for future considerations. Best did not appear in a game for the Moccasins since joining them after being released by Mississippi. He has 1 win this season, .372 goals against average, and a .901 save percentage. This season, Butler 6 games with 1 assist, but with Best now in the fold, the Venom have Rahul Sharma, Makar Sokolov, and Sam Best, along with the injured John Moriarty on their roster. So MJ Markle certainly has some decisions to make when it comes to the crease. Continuing around the FPHL, go to our out-of-town scoreboard, and we start with the Black Bears and the Bobcats. They are scoreless down in Wytheville as Blue Ridge outshooting Binghamton 12-6 right now. Connor McAdam is between the pipes for the Bears. Connor Green getting the start for the Bobcats. They are in the late stages of period 1. Well, the Hat Tricks and the Venom were scheduled to drop the puck at 7:30. Instead, they will drop the puck at about 8:10 tonight in Danbury, as the Hat Tricks announced that the start time pushed back about 40 minutes. They will get underway a little bit from now. That's not the only postponed or delayed game tonight. We'll get to that one, the other one, shortly. No score about 45 minutes down the road from here at McMorran Place, down in Fraser at Big Boy Arena between the Rockers and the Athens Rock Lobsters. Prowlers will be facing the Rock Lobsters tomorrow and Sunday. Trevor Babin is between the pipes for Motor City. Josh Rosenswag getting the start for the Rock Lobsters. And as I look down on the penalty sheet, I see a Malik Johnson and Trevor Babin matching fighting majors. So that, I'm sure, was interesting. And unfortunately, I'll have to wait until after our game here to go see that. It's 1-0 in Winston-Salem as the Thunderbirds lead the Columbus River Dragons late stages of the opening period. Gus Ford with the only goal there so far. Meanwhile, getting set to drop the puck in just a few minutes, the Dashers hosting the Monroe Moccasins. Parker Rutherford is in between the pipes for the Dashers, and Paul McLean's coaching debut for the Dashers Hockey Club of Danville, Illinois. And Cody Karpinski will get the start for the Mocs. And finally, there's supposed to be one more game on the schedule tonight, and the Mississippi Seawolves were slated to host the Baton Rouge Zydeco, but that one has been postponed and rescheduled for this Sunday, March the 9th at 1:05 p.m. And the Mississippi Coast Coliseum is just citing unforeseen circumstances. No more details have been given officially by the arena, of course, here. We are 20 minutes down, and it is 1-0 for the Prowlers. Take a look at the stats from that opening 20 minutes. Prowlers got off to a hot start, throwing the first 8 shots on net on Brendan Colgan, but he stopped them all up to that point and gave his team a chance to find their footing, which they did. They pushed back a little bit later on in that opening period, but Prowlers would eventually find the game's first goal on a deflection from Luke James off a wrist shot from the point by Brian Parsons. Each team 0 for 1 on the man advantage. We get set for the start of period number 2. We look at our PHP Network trivia question, and it regards the starting netminder tonight for the Prowlers. He is Valtteri Nuciani. He has 14 wins this season, tied with 3 other goaltenders for the 4th most wins in a single season in franchise history. We want to know who the other 3 are. So put your guesses in the comment section. We'll give you the correct answer coming up at the start of period number 3. Nuciani is down the goal crease, 2 hour left. He made 5 saves on 5 Wolves shots in that opening 20. Brendan Colgan in the goal crease, 2 hour right, 12 saves on 13 Prowler shots. Just as they did to start the first period, Trevor Graspy and Jamie Bussell right at the center dot, and we're underway in the Hungry Howie's second period. Dershell and Marty come together, and Dershell wins that bout with his pass. Now the reach of Gaeta kept in by Simmons Fisher. Graspy reverses for Dershell. Walks it high and out, sends Lord after it. Heinzel able to knock it over to the boards. Loose puck, Federley chips it, and on comes Bussell. Passed it across the ice, but nobody was there. And the headman feed finds Lord. Tried to dance around Johnson, couldn't do it. Here's Gaeta in tight, and he just pushed it wide as the puck slid through. And Gaeta got a chance. Drive by Powell, stopped by Valtteri Nuciainen. And the other way comes Johnson into the offensive end. Millette on the wing. Curls up to the boards. Works his way up high. Backhands it deep. Lochte scores! Millette with a soft backhander towards the slot. Lucas Lochte able to whack it over the glove pad of Brendan Colgan. And the Prowlers, just a minute 2 into period 2, have doubled their lead. It looked like an innocent enough play as Reggie Millette worked his way up top, had a couple of Wolves on him, so he just got it deep, and Lucas Lochte able to whack it. And he gets his 11th goal of the season. And the Prowlers with a goal in the final seconds of period 1. Now get one just a minute 2 into period 2. Here's Alex Johnson. Up to Graham. Fires it across to Millette. Has Lochte going to the net. Tried to one-hand it there as the puck was bouncing. Puck still loose. And it's moved around this side. Lochte up the boards to Lockhart. A drive, and that one just a bit outside. Lochte behind the cage. Tries the Michigan. Couldn't get it up on his tape. Graham is back to the net. Goes to Lochte once again. Graham again, centered, looking for Millette. That was poked away by Carter Thornton all the way down. Lucianen leaves it there for Lockhart. Slid it just out of the zone. Henning cuts it off at the red line, tosses it back in. Lockhart to Johnson, quickly across, finds Styles. His pass cut off by Botero. Johnson again, this time to Luke James. Dershell stepped up on him. James got it deep. Henning turns away from the oncoming Styles. Delstrom cuts it off at the line. His shot off a stick and out of play. Alex Johnson and Reggie Millette have been listed on my sheet here as the ones with the assists, although they did announce Matt Graham, I believe, here in the building. Not sure who actually did get credit for the other assist, but either way, it's a 2-0 Prowler lead. Delstrom holds it in at the point. Try to get it back down deep. Henning hustles out with it. Couldn't dump it in. DeCumbis fires it rink wide, and Parsons collects. Delstrom try to go all the way to DeCumbis, has some space on the left wing with James going to the net. But they call offsides at the Watertown line. And that would have been a good chance for Port Huron as DeCumbis had James firing down the backside. And maybe as DeCumbis went to bring in that puck, Luke James just got drawn a bit offside. Either way, face-off come all the way back down toward the Prowler end, as that's where the pass originated from. Right in front of the Wolves bench. Prowlers try to work up with it this time, and Heinzel dumps it around. Della Savita up to Lord. Now Gaeta with 3 Prowlers back. Gaeta all by himself, waits for help. Bussell took a tumble, still with the puck. Goes around to Federley. Off the boards, out of the zone. Powell, D to Della Savita. Simmons Fisher now for Port Huron. Has it settled. And Marty on for Heinzel. He dumps it around. Prowlers get a change as Della Savita goes over to Powell. Long lead pass, touched only as far as Alex Johnson. Now Johnson looks to start a counter. Graham got a touch on that one, but settles back for Powell. Trevor Lord over to Gingrich. And all the way back to the top to Powell. Rips it across. Blind pass cut off by Lockney. Has Millette joining him, 2-on-1. Lockney tried to get it over to Millette. That was blocked by Declan Flanagan. Goes the defenseman back, and the net came off its moorings. Watertown will not get a chance to change. Just over 4 minutes gone here in period 2. Prowlers have doubled their advantage. It's 2-0 on the strength of a goal from Lucas Lockney. Lockney and Millette had a chance right there, but a good play by Flanagan to get in between the pass. Prowlers have the Styles line out there. Tristan Sim taking this shift on right wing. Sim, of course, spent the last couple of weeks on the IR. And it's good to see him back in the lineup. He was replaced on the IR by Stefan Deasy, who of course took that hit in Danbury and did not return on Friday and didn't play Saturday. McDonald's attempt towards the net cut off. And here's James at the red line. Gets the Wolves blue, tried to drop it off, ran into Ian McDonald. They both went down to the ice. McDonald lost the handle. And Sim with some room. Tried to go up to James. That one tipped in, and Luke James gets a change. Flanagan waits behind his own net for the breakout to develop. Watertown finishing up a change. And it's cut off by Lockhart at the red line. Works back in, chips it in. Colgan pushes it right back up the wall. Out towards Johnson. Couldn't bring that one in cleanly. Now he'll have to chase with Botero right on his tail. Lockney on for Graham. Tried to tap it to Johnson. That's pushed back to Prowler ice. Lockhart rims it around. Millette got a touch. Lockney pokes it ahead. Lockney and Dershell tied up in the corner. Whalen over to Dershell. Patero got it out of the zone, but right on the stick of Matt Graham. And the Prowlers regroup. Graham, right down the middle of the ice. Back pass for Johnson. Crosses it around, Millette waiting for it. Right on net, off the side of the cage. And out of play. 14-13 left to go in period 2. And we'll take a timeout. Prowlers up by 2 here in Port Huron.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not
a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken bag, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Live where you work. Work where you play. Is your work commute making you miserable? Quit the commute. Explore hot jobs in St. Clair County paying $40,000 to $100,000 or more. Visit stclairhotjobs.com. Spend more time doing what you love. If you're not currently living in St. Clair County, or you know friends or family that moved away but are ready to come back, then visit stclairhotjobs.com to find a new job and make the move.
Back here in Port Huron, 2-0 Prowlers, early stages of period 2. And Port Huron switched up the lines, at least up front for tonight's game. Loading up that top line of Matt Graham, Lucas Lockney, and Reggie Millette, and it's paid off as they have the only goal here of period 2. Bussell line out there right now for the Prowlers. And Federley takes the face-off. Out to Bussell, one-timer, he scores! And now all 3 lines have contributed offensively tonight, and the Prowlers have a 3-0 lead. And Jamie Bussell right along the ice. Not sure if Colgan ever saw it. There was lots of traffic in front. And Port Huron continuing to add to the lead. And what is a big game for both of these teams. Here's Gaeta, the former Prowler, with a sharp angle, stopped by Nusiainen, and he covers up for a whistle and a face-off. Bussell from Austin Federley as Bussell picks up his 10th goal of the season. And Austin Federley with his 27th helper of the year. They get goals from Lockney, Bussell, and James. And again, all 3 lines have contributed offensively here tonight already. We're still early in the second. Millette over to Lockney. Graham collects behind the cage. Millette chases it down the corner. Johnson, head up, sent it through, and a save by Colgan. Graspy had his stick lifted by Lockney. Puck popped out for Millette. Has to weave his way up top. Little toe drag, lost it partially, and he got back deep. Millette to Graham, hands it back off, looking in front, but he lost the handle. He had Lockney streaking down the back door. Right, here come the Wolves. Lord to Gaeta, poked off his stick by Lockhart. Lord down and around. Kyle Powell in deep, taken into the boards. Gaeta moved it up to Newman, who clapped it back down. Lord and Parsons both overskated. Gaeta the first one there. A little reverse hit on Lockhart. And now bodies flying behind the Prowler net. Lockhart has to head off to the bench. Quick shot from the point, gloved down by Valtteri Nusiainen. And now Parsons getting involved with Trevor Newman. Lockhart went to throw a check on Davide Gaeta, but he saw him coming. Put the shoulder into Brett Lockhart. Knocked his bucket off. And all of a sudden, everybody was hitting everybody behind the Prowler net. Everyone will be separated. Those Prowler goals, by the way, coming in a span of 4 minutes and 50 seconds between the Lockney and Bussell goals. And we're not done yet as Parsons escorting his teammate Millette to the bench. And those goals actually came on consecutive shots. The Lockney and Bussell goals. So nobody had a shot on net for that entire 4 minutes and 50 seconds between the Lockney and Bussell goals. Looks like the Wolves are going to the power play here. We'll get some 4-on-4 hockey as, pardon me, as Millette and Lord both going to the penalty boxes. So my mistake, not a Wolves power play. They just put the two from Millette up first. I believe they're both getting a couple of minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct, and they'll cool off in the sin bin. Get some open ice, 4-on-4 action. 12:42 left in the Hungry Howie's second period. Graspy wins the face-off back. McDonald taken in by Sim. McDonald back on the puck, and he reverses back up this way. Graspy pushed into the wall. Thornton now with the puck. Now to Graspy. Takes a look. Hands it off. Shot by Thornton. Punched away by Nucian with the blocker. That was Flanagan, pardon me. Centering feed. This one's Thornton. And this one also stopped by Nucian. Pass out forward to Cumbus. Enters the offensive zone. Drop for Parsons. Walks in. Off the post. Gaeta collects for Watertown, and he starts his way up ice. Parsons trying to poke it from him, loose puck, and Bussell's on it. Bussell by himself, Prowlers in the midst of a change. He'll rim it deep. Newman gets there first. Back out this side, watched by Bussell. Della Savita now behind his net, hands off for Newman. He flies up the right wing. Over to Dershell, but the pass along the blue line, dangerous for that reason, offside. Called against the Wolves with 41 seconds left in the 4-on-4, thanks to the unsportsmanlike conduct penalties to Reggie Millette and Trevor Lord. Brian Parsons that close as he jumped up on the rush to make it a 3-on-2, walked right down Main Street, beat Colgan, just couldn't beat the iron. Adam Heinzel fed it over to Graham. He clocks it in. Dershell lost it to Lockney. Now Graham with his head up, spinning away from Gaeta. One hands it over to Lockney. Lockney pushes his way up top, and he's forced out of the zone by Dershell. Simmons Fisher. Over to Adam Heinzel starting this rush. Has Lockney with him. Tried to give it over to Graham. Came through, and Lockney grabs it in the corner. Back to 5-on-5. Simmons Fisher drops the shoulder behind the net and works his way back up high. Turnaround try off the back wall. Centered by Lockney. And back behind the net comes over to Millette. Graham. Back to Reggie Millette. Hand off for Heinzel. Prowlers buzzing in the offensive zone, but Heinzel blew a tire. Kicked out, loose puck grabbed by the Wolves, and Della Savita sends Lord on his way. Lord with the shot, stopped by Nuciainen. Lockney and Powell come together on top of that loose puck. Lord pulls it out. Heinzel trying to muscle him off, and he does. Flanagan couldn't keep it in at the point, and he goes across to Whalen as the Wolves make a change past the midway point of this hockey game. Powell for Botero, tried to float it through, and Simmons Fisher able to break that one up. There's Federley. Takes a look to the net, deflected wide by Sim. Botero back the other direction. Sent it around, Nuciainen able to stop it, and almost had it taken away by Whalen. Bussell hustling after that puck to negate the icing. Sends it around to Federle. Bussell and Powell behind the net. And now Kyle Powell comes out with it. He'll retreat back and take his time. 9 minutes left to go in the Hungry Howie's second period. Prowlers with a 3-0 lead. Wolves up on shots in this period, 6-3. Prowlers up for the game, 16-11. And thank you to Kyle Powell for giving me enough time to give you all those stats before stepping out. As his dump steered to the corner by Nusiainen. Dylan Marty grabs that puck. Lost it to Graspy. Bussell following up the play. Able to get a cross corner dump in. Graspy starts the head out of the zone. Had his stick lifted, trying to regain control of the puck. Simmons Fisher got his stick in there. And now Graham on it. Over to Lockney. On for Marty. Soft toss in. He'll head off for a change. Colgan plays it right into Millette, fresh off the bench. Centered, looking for Graham. Comes all the way through for Lockney. His shot blocked by Dustin Henning. Graspy weaves in. Turnaround pass to Lord. Tried to center and cut off by Graham. Millette. Lead pass for Lockney. Spins away from Dershell. Lockney across looking for Johnson. Has it now. Millette tried a one-timer. Swung and missed, and the puck slides out of the zone. Kenny Stiles. Tried to float it through. Couldn't do it. Puck off of Heinzel's stick. Johnson comes back. Puck loose in the slot, and Heinzel finally able to get it out of danger. But the danger not over now. Thornton backdoor feed looking for Newman. That popped up in the air. Back on net, and Nusiainen has it gloved and hangs on for a whistle. All Prowlers right now on the scoreboard, 3-0 with 7:11 left to go in period 2. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
See that? That's what 100% mozzarella looks like. What dough made daily looks like. What fresh ingredients and 8 irresistible flavored crusts on pizza cooked to perfection looks like. It's so much flavor, we don't even know if it's legal to have this much flavor. Now you can get that famous flavor for only $8.99. Wait, a large one-topping pizza for $8.99? That's a deal. It's a steal. No, it's a crime. Just $8.99 for a one-topping pizza full of our famous flavor. Now that's how we do a deal.
Hungry?
Howie's!
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Back here in Port Huron, 7:11 left to go in period 2. And it's the Prowlers with a 3-0 lead on the Watertown Wolves, who sit 5 points above Port Huron in the Empire Division standings, and that important third place spot, as 4th and 5th in each division will have to play a one-game play-in for the right to face the top team in the respective divisions. For the Empire, that would be the Binghamton Black Bears, save for an absolutely ridiculous historic collapse, which I don't believe is going to happen. Prowlers and Wolves would certainly like to avoid Binghamton as long as possible in the playoffs, as well as not having to play that play-in game, which would be a midweek game between the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs, and certainly putting you behind the 8 ball if you're the winner of that game. And if you're the loser, you only get one more game of the season. Hellstrom bumps it up. Della Savita over to Powell. That puck eluded him. Newman rescues it for Watertown. Tossed back in. Powell reverse up the far side boards right into James. Slips past a couple of Wolves. James left it behind the net. Della Savita pushed over to Lincoln Gingrich on the far side. Back to Della Savita. Lead pass touched ahead by Thornton and recovered by Ludwig Felstrom. Millette over to Graham. To the back to Lockney, one-timer and a save by Colgan, just got a piece. Now Lockhart takes a shot, and Colgan with the blocker this time. Prowlers can't touch the puck, delayed off sides, so Powell able to take over. And Port Huron will begin a change with under 6 to go in this period. De La Savita, long pass, touched in by Dempwolf. Nusiainen around to Lockhart. Bounced across to Johnson. Looking towards Bussell. It ends up on Federley's tape. Botero heads for that loose puck in the corner. McDonald. Or Flanagan. Wolves trying to work it out of their end, and they do. Dempwolf touches it forward. Simmons Fisher. Reverse for Heinzel. Bussell works his way out. Federley touches it along to Marty. Now Federley trying to pull it off the boards. He spun around, pucks in his skates. Marty tried to put it on net and couldn't do it. Instead, it's Botero going the other way. Botero taken out with a nice hip check from Adam Heinzel. Federley off the far boards to Marty. But it gets around Dustin Henning. And this one sent deep. Parsons first to retrieve. Prowlers work out. It's DeCumbis flying in, drops it off. Stiles shoots and a save by Colgan. Nice passing there between DeCumbis, Simmons, Stiles, and Brendan Colgan coming up with a good save. Graspy after it in his own end. Took a hit from Sim. Here's DeCumbis. Tried to go back across to Stiles off a stick. Now DeCumbis up to the point. Delstrom got it through, and that one tipped wide. Stiles spinning away from Dershell. His pass up top blocked. Came back to him. He and Dershell tied up on the boards. Graspy skates out of the zone. Trying to go right down the middle of the ice. His pass to the outside, poked away by Reggie Millette. Parsons over to Thelstrom, gets the red line, gets the Wolves blue. Graham trying to poke it deep. He took a hit from De La Savita, and the puck off a stick and flies out of play over the glass. 3:36 left to go in the Hungry Howie's second period still. A 3-0 Prowler lead. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
Back here in Port Huron, just a few minutes left here in the second period. This game has flown by pretty quick. Prowlers with the 3-0 lead right now as Brendan Colgan heads back to his goal crease for the face-off, which will be to his left. Graham wins it back. Lockhart slips it down the board to Lockney. Up top, Millette. Works down the wall, gets to the net, and a save by Colgan, left a rebound. But he poked it just past the charging Reggie Millette. Wolves ice the puck. Millette with a good chance from the outside. Had some open space to move in, and Brendan Colgan makes a big save to keep it a 3-0 game. Shots are 21-12 right now in favor of the Prowlers. They have taken the last 5 on net in this period. Face-off will be in the same spot as when we came back from the TV timeout, between the same two centers, Matt Graham and Trevor Newman. Newman this time gets it back. Thornton on the far side. Looks up ice, and Millette read that one like a book. Lockney chips it over to the far corner. Graham in front. Millette looking towards Lockney, and Powell got in between. Thornton able to dump it in before taking a check from Graham. Millette pushed through some contact. Here's Gingrich the other way. Newman down low, and they score. Carter Thornton on the receiving end of that pass. He gets the Wolves on the board with 2:45 left in period 2. A breakdown for the Prowlers as Carter Thornton all available by himself. His 16th of the year, snaps a career-high 4-game point drought. As the Wolves came in with numbers, and they took advantage. So Watertown feeling a little bit better at itself right now. Just a 2-goal deficit late in period 2. A manageable hill to climb for the Wolves despite being outplayed much of this game so far. McDonald, lead pass, touched in by Dempwolf, but from his own side of the red line, so icing called against Watertown. So Lincoln Gingrich and Trevor Newman pick up the assists on the goal by Thornton. And of course, Thornton ending that point drought for Newman. He ends a bit of a cold streak for himself. He had just 1 point over his last 10 games. Part of a 4-player deal back in August. So he was acquired from HC Venom after being a collegiate signing for the Elmira River Sharks at the end of last year. That puck out of play into the benches. Trevor Newman now with 29 points in 40 games this year for the Wolves after 11 and 18, again as a collegiate signing out of Morrisville State for Elmira. Ludwig Thelstrom now off the boards, finds Decumbus, sends it in on Colgan, and he'll cover up for a whistle on the faceoff. James and McDonald introducing themselves. Speaking of former Elmira River Sharks, Luke James was there briefly last year. Played 5 games for the Sharks before sustaining an injury that kept him out the rest of the season. Faceoff will be to Colgan's right here. And the Graham line back out there for the Prowlers. Dug up off the draw. Sent deep. Whalen moves it around. Thelstrom pinching in. Couldn't keep it alive. And Parsons recollects back in his own end. Wolves get a change as Parsons flies up. Graham touches it back to Lockney. Works his way around Whalen. Tried to center. Ends up on Lord's tape. Whalen to Lord. On for Gaeta as Henning joining the play. Pass off his skate, and then the shot by Gaeta off of Thelstrom's skate. Lord to Crespi, one-timer. That was blocked on the way through. And Lockney knocks it over to the corner. Dershell to Lord, one-timer blocked by Parsons. Puck battled for behind the net. Gaeta couldn't put it on goal as that puck was hopping. Heading off the far corner. Lord gets up top, over to Henning. Wrists it down low, and a save by Nusiainen as Gaeta got a piece. Thelstrom indirect feed for Millette, pardon me. That one hopped over his stick, and that goes down for an icing, so the Prowlers won't be able to change here. 62 seconds left in period 2, and to momentum for Watertown. Stick around for the Moses Rose's Smoke Break second intermission report here on the PHP Network. Talk about this Prowlers and Wolves game so far. Also take a look at Port Huron's upcoming schedule and the out-of-town scores, game stats coming your way as well. So keep it right here on the PHP Network. When the final buzzer sounds, trying to figure out who's supposed to be on the ice right now. Prowlers currently have 3 defensemen out there, and they'll send Lucas Lockney off for Adam Heinzel, which certainly was not the change. I believe Heinzel is the fresh one out there. Stelstrom rims it around. Della Savita kept it deep. Delstrom battling away in the corner. Gaeta. And now Parsons on the far side. Lead pass out for Millette. One-on-one against Della Savita. Millette pulls up, and his shot off of Della Savita's stick and over the protective netting, out of play. 37.6 seconds left to go in this second period. The Prowlers will get another offensive zone face-off here. Della Savita, again playing in his first pro game tonight. Played this season at Misericordia University as a captain. Spent the last 3 years, though, at Morrisville State. Federley double-teamed. Powell trying to take the puck from him. And it's pushed around to the far side. Lord took a bump from Bussell. Powell now. Knocked across to Lord. Starts to move north. And now he goes back to Della Savita. 13 seconds left in period 2. Federley took a look at the clock and now turns his attention back to Della Savita, who is in no hurry, and I guess Dominic Della Savita has decided to end this period behind his own net. So that's going to do it for 40 minutes of play. Shots in that period favoring the Prowlers 9-8, and they score twice to take a 3-1 lead into period number 3. Prowlers up on shots for the game, 22-13 at this point. And overall, a good period for the Prowlers again. But the Wolves did pick up some energy late after the goal from Carter Thornton. And they got some more zone time late in that second frame, but unable to pull any closer, and their deficit will be 2 when we come back for period number 3. Well, once again, stick around for the Moses Rose's Smoke Break second intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We'll chat about this game so far, the good, the bad, the ugly, and not too much ugly. Just 4 penalty minutes aside and 1 power play aside in this one. We'll also take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, the out-of-town scores, game stats, all that fun stuff. It's all coming your way here on the Moses Rose's Smoke Break second intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We'll secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game. That will be tomorrow, Saturday, March 8th, when they take on the Athens Rock Lobsters, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 7:05 p.m. It's also taking a shot at Breast Cancer Night here at McMorran Place. Prowlers will be wearing specialty breast cancer awareness themed jerseys that will be auctioned off after the game, with all of the funds going to support breast cancer research. You can get your tickets right now online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or by scanning the QR code on your screen now. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan that QR code on your screen now to be a part of the Prowlers' 10th anniversary season. And of course, be sure to come out tomorrow night to support a great cause. Every year, the Prowlers and Taking a Shot at Breast Cancer team up, and that is noted FPHL referee Steve Gowdy's foundation. He and his wife run that foundation. So an important night here at McMorran Place every year. So come out and support. Once again, phprowlers.com/tickets. 40 minutes down here at McMorran Place for the Friday matchup between the Prowlers and the Wolves. And we'll be right back here on the PHP Network.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
Let's go! They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should've just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
At phprowlers.com. They're cleaning up the chuck of pucks here at McMorran Place. Prowlers with a 3-1 lead on the Watertown Wolves. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. A Friday night matchup that begins a 3-3 for the Port Huron Prowlers here at home. But the next two will not be against the Watertown Wolves. It's also a 3-3 for the Wolves, but the next two are in a different building. This is the only meeting this season between the Prowlers and the Wolves. Well, Port Huron has controlled this game for most of it, but Watertown did find some life near the end of that second period after scoring the goal. Carter Thornton picking up the tally and getting Watertown on the board. And that seemed to energize the Wolves. They had a couple of good shifts down in the Prowlers' end after that. Didn't get another shot on goal, but did get themselves, again, a couple of good shifts down deep, and that's certainly a little bit of a positive that Wolves fans can take away, as Port Huron has certainly had the better of the play throughout this game. And they have all three lines buzzing right now, does Port Huron. 3 goals, each being scored by a member of each of their 3 lines, and 7 different players picking up a point so far tonight, and nobody for the Prowlers has more than 1 point tonight. So they really spread around the offense as much as you can spread it around, really, with a 3-goal offensive output at this point. And now they'll try and lock things down in period number 3 and get themselves back in the win column, and a huge 3 points. It's really felt like the biggest game of the year, at least so far, for both the Wolves and the Prowlers, just the way the standings are, with the Wolves being just 5 points ahead of Port Huron as of right now, and this being the only opportunity for the Prowlers and the Wolves to take points away from each other, with it being their only matchup of the season. And the Prowlers came out firing. They built that 3-0 lead, and now they stand here with a 3-1 advantage. And they played well in the third period against Danbury last Saturday, holding the hat tricks to just 4 shots on net. But overtime is where that one fell apart for them, and the first 40 minutes as well. Chris Paul, and the Prowlers assistant coach, talked about how he didn't like the start in Danbury, didn't like the first 40 minutes. I'm sure he has nicer things to say about this first 40 minutes for his club, and we'll see if they can come out with the fire again in this third period. Now, the Prowlers this season are 13-3-2 when leading after 40 minutes of play, and again looking for their first and only victory of the season against the Wolves in their one and only meeting. And we'll see if these teams end up meeting in the playoffs. It'd be very unlikely to be a first-round matchup, but if one or both of them can end up with upsets, whether it be against Binghamton or Danbury, will likely have that 2 seed and be the higher seed for whoever ends up in third place. Although still plenty of season to go, so that can certainly change. But if both of them can pull off victories and in the first round of the playoffs, and maybe we'll see this as an Empire Division Championship round matchup. But for now, this is the one and only time you get to see the Prowlers and the Wolves on the ice together this season. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scores, game stats, and the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, and then we'll get things started for period number 3. And we will do it next right here on the PHP Network.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Back here in Port Huron, just minutes away from the start of period number 3. And the Prowlers with a 3-1 lead on the Watertown Wolves. Will Wiggleman here with you once again on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And before we get to period number 3, let's take a look ahead for the Port Huron Prowlers, their upcoming schedule. And of course, this is the only home 3-3 this season and the only Sunday game for the Prowlers this season, which I know is hard to believe. They play 6 days out of the week at some point this season. All days except for a Monday this year. They've played on a Wednesday and a Tuesday and a Thursday already. This will be their first and only Sunday game of this regular season coming up. They also play tomorrow night against the Athens Rock Lobsters. Now we'll wrap up the season series between the Prowlers and the Rock Lobsters. Athens won both games in Athens, won in overtime. Of course, tomorrow is taking a shot at Breast Cancer Night, which is a great cause every single year that the Prowlers partner up with. And then Sunday will be Faith and Family Night here at McMorran Place. So a couple of great games between the Prowlers and the Rock Lobsters coming up. And don't miss your chance to see one of the newest teams in the FPHL in the Rock Lobsters by getting your tickets now at phprowlers.com/tickets. Next weekend, the Battle of I-94 is restored. 3 more weekends, 3 more home and homes, 6 more total games between the Prowlers and the Motor City Rockers. And it reignites next weekend. It will be at Big Boy Arena on Friday, a week from today. That is a 7:30 p.m. start from Fraser, Michigan. And then it'll be back here at 7:05 p.m. against those same Motor City Rockers. And Prowlers only need 2 more wins to secure the regular season series win and the Battle of I-94 over the Rockers. So be sure to check out those 2 games coming up next week. Before we get back into our game, let's take a look at what's going on in the other games around the FPHL. Not too many goals up on the board in the other Empire Division games, as the Black Bears are up 1-0 on the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Dan Stone with the only goal, and he scored it with 1 second left in period number 1. They're now late in the second, and it is still 1-0. Hat Tricks have a 1-0 lead on HC Venom through 20 minutes of play. Again, that game was delayed 40 minutes. They finally dropped the puck at around 8:10 p.m. And Noah Robinson got the scoring started for the Hat Tricks in the final 2 minutes of that opening frame. Brandon Picard has the only goal in Fraser, about 45 minutes down the road from here in Port Huron. And the Rock Lobsters lead the Rockers by a score of 1-0. Athens up 27-9 on shots. They are playing about midway through period number 2. The Carolina Thunderbirds open the scoring tonight in Winston-Salem thanks to Gus Ford. And then the Columbus River Dragons scored the next 4. Austin Doe and Ryan Hunter gave the Dragons the lead before the end of period 1, and then Kirk Underwood and Kyle Moore extended the advantage. It's now 4-1 Columbus as they play midway through period number 2. And Mario Cavalieri has been yanked from that game in favor of Boris Babick. Houston Wilson has the only goal in Danville as the Monroe Moccasins lead the Dashers Hockey Club of Danville, Illinois. 1-0 through 20 minutes. Yanni Liarakos picks up his first point as a Dasher with the assist, the primary assist on the goal by Wilson. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, the game between the Mississippi Seawolves and the Baton Rouge Zydeco has been postponed, and that game will be on Sunday in the afternoon, a little bit before we get underway here at McMorran Place between the Prowlers and the Rock Lobsters. Let's turn our attention back to the game at hand. And Port Huron with the 3-1 lead, out shooting the Wolves 22-13 right now. Neither team got a power play in that entire second period. It has been a very clean game, and not all too surprising considering that the Prowlers and Wolves again have not played each other yet this season and aren't really, they are technically division rivals, but they only play once this entire year, and they haven't had an opportunity to get things fired up like the Prowlers have with the Binghamton Black Bears and the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Talk about a couple of hateful rivalries that have been built this season. The Prowlers and the Black Bears and Hat-Tricks. Be some fun playoff series, and if the Prowlers do get Danbury in the first round, that has the opportunity to be the best first round series in the FPHL, so that would be must-see TV. You'll be able to find all of those games here on the PHP Network YouTube channel, even if the Prowlers end up facing off against the Binghamton Black Bears after taking on the Motor City Rockers in a playing game. All of those would be must-see matchups. I mean, the Prowlers have made no friends since joining the Empire Division this season. So playoff time will be fun. It's a little over a month away, about a month and a half away from now, and still plenty to decide in the Empire Division standings, and this game will be a big part of deciding where teams finish in the standings. Most of the referees have hit the ice. Let's take one last look at our PHP Network trivia question. While Terry Nusiainen has 14 wins this season, looking for number 15. He's tied with 3 other goaltenders for the 4th most wins in a single season in franchise history. And we want to know, who are those other 3 netminders? One of them behind the bench tonight for the Prowlers, Chris Paulin. And he did it in the 2019-20 season, had 14 wins that year. Curtis Martineau in the 2016-17 season also had 14 wins. And Wyatt Hofflin back in the 2022-23 season with 14 wins as well. Nusiainen's next win with time with Corey Simons in 2018-19 for 3rd most wins in a single season in Prowlers franchise history. Top 2 are Andy DeCristofaro in 2015-16 with 26, and Michael Santaguida in 2017-18 with 23. And you see Nusiainen leading the Prowlers out there onto the ice, and there he goes back to his goal crease down to our right. He has stopped 12 of 13 Wolves shots. Brendan Colgan down in the goal crease to our left. He has made 19 saves on 22 Prowlers shots. A solid crowd here at McMorran Place, hoping to witness a Prowler victory. Jamie Bussell and Trevor Graspy will line up for this face-off to begin the Scholes Family McDonald's 3rd period. And we are underway in the final 20 minutes of regulation tonight. Gaeta with a steal. Down low, Lord, stoned by Valtteri Nusiainen. He got it with the glove and he hangs on. And a big first stop of period 3 for the Prowlers netminder. He stared down Trevor Lord, and casually with that glove hand. Able to scoop it up. Here's Graspy wrapping it around. Dershell got it all the way through, and Lord tried to fire it out in front, got past everybody, and all the way down to Colgan. Gaeta works back in, working on Lockhart. Hands it off for Graspy. Now Lord behind the net. Center looking for Gaeta. That was cut off neatly by Jamie Bussell. Lockney chips it in, heads after it. Colgan plays it away up the far side. Lord tried to clap it in, didn't get much on it. Lockney trying to dig it free, and instead comes over to Powell. Powell back behind the net to his defense partner, Della Savita. Got a two-line feed for Thornton that got touched in, and Nusiainen hands off for DeCumbus. Felstrom led on for Millette. Drop off for DeCumbus, in with speed, a shot stopped by Colgan, and he clamps the glove on top for a whistle as Vinny DeCumbus trying to go low glove on Colgan. DeCumbus still looking for his first point back with the Prowlers. As he signed before last weekend, once again he has to play all of the regular season games remaining for Port Huron to be eligible for playoffs. Gingrich overskated that puck and knocked off his stick. Della Savita pushed it around to the far side. Felstrom down low, and that one stopped by Colgan, may have changed direction. Felstrom again, goes over to Parsons. A drive, deflected! That one hit the post. Felstrom keeps it alive once again at the point. And walking the blue line there, just out of the zone though, was DeCumbus. Now the Prowlers offside. But a couple of good shots through traffic from Felstrom and Parsons. And the Prowlers try and generate some more offense from their blue line, getting shots through. That's another thing that Coach Paulin talked about last weekend. It was last Friday when Ludwig Felstrom scored the tying goal against Danbury, an eventual Prowlers victory. Talked about trying to get shots through from their blue liners, and they did it there, caused some havoc. Here's Simmons Fisher with a shot through, and it's punched out of play by Brendan Colgan. Just over 2 minutes gone here in period number 3. Already a great save from Valtteri Nusiainen, and the Prowlers now peppering the Watertown net with shots. McDonald trying to spin away from Sim. Lost the puck. And the pass to Bussell just eluded him. McDonald trying to force it up the far side boards. Whalen slipped through a check from Sim. And it's tossed all the way down. That will be icing against Marcus Dempwolf and the Watertown Wolves. Seems like a pretty appropriate name to be playing for this Watertown club, Marcus Dempwolf. Again, he signed today out of Port Dover Sailors in the PJHL. 20 goals, 30 points in 29 games for him. Millette tried a seam pass across. That was taken away by Botero. He tosses it out, heads off for a change. Johnson looking towards Millette. That one got past him, but they'll hit the linesman, so no icing against the Prowlers. Gaeta turns back the other direction. Has Lord with him. He's surrounded, and he sends it around to the far side. Lockhart off the boards to Millette. Has help coming. Tried to float it across to Lockney. Batted out of the air by Dershell. Millette back pass in front, cut off. Graspy the other way. Into the offensive zone. Stops up on Stiles on that half wall. Lord in front to Graspy. Saved Nusiainen. He had it underneath him for a moment. Kicked it out. And as the Prowlers tried to go the other direction, Graspy ran into the post and knocked the net off its moorings, but they'll say the Prowlers can't change as Graspy was pushed into the net. So we'll get a whistle and a face-off deep in Port Huron territory. as Graspy gets set to draw against Kenny Styles. Bit of a mixed line out there right now for the Prowlers. Styles, the center, but Lockney and Millette on the wings. Lockney off the boards, got it out of the zone. Diving play by Graspy, got it to Lord. Oh, his drive into the zone, hit Alex Johnson up high. Johnson seems to be all right as he goes back for his stick. Meanwhile, it's Graspy in front to Lord, saved by Nusiainen. Back to the point, Henning a floater. That one blockered by Valtteri Nusiainen. Second great save by Nusiainen on Trevor Lord in this period. And he keeps it 3-1. Lockhart hands off for Thelstrom and heads off to the bench. Past 4 minutes gone in period 3. Thelstrom lead pass. DeCumbus turns his way in. He couldn't split the D. And now Newman trying to push through Sim. Threw it along to the near side. James gets the red line. Knocked to a knee. Pass it off. Thelstrom's shot just missed the net. Now Parsons got it deep for James. Poked back up towards Parsons at the blue line. Kept it in momentarily, but Powell skates it out. Now Thelstrom poked away. Powell turnaround try. Thornton tips it just wide. Now Thelstrom to Parsons. The Prowlers try and regroup. Watertown's has some good opportunities here in period 3 to try and pull within a goal. Bussell couldn't bring that pass in. Thornton shot blocked by Jamie Bussell. Here comes Bussell. Works in. Has Federley with him. Tried to slide it there. Flanagan got in the way. Adam Heinzel gets the red line. Fires it in off to the backboards. Dylan Marty trying to squeeze through the check from McDonald. Lockney chasing after it. Pokes it up high. Heinzel to the net. Deflected save. Colgan. Wrap trance. And it comes all the way out in front. Lockney to Simmons. Fisher the one-timer. Saved by Colgan. Lockney again tried to center. That was blocked back to him. Newman gets to that loose puck and ends a good Prowler shift, their best one of this third period. And then Newman gets into the offensive end offside. 14:10 left to go in the third. Valtteri Nusiainen with a couple of big saves to keep it a 3-1 game.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Back here in Port Huron, 14:10 left to go in regulation, and Valtteri Nusiainen has had to stand tall early in this third period. Prowlers finally did have a good shift just before that TV timeout. A couple of turnovers in their own end, and Nusiainen stopped Trevor Lord a couple of times. Whalen brings it in. Tosses it over to the half wall. Styles and Dempwolf come together. Now Thelstrom trying to skate it out. He's chased down by a couple of Wolves, but he's able to dump it in. Dershell knocked down by Millette, who takes the puck, but then he's knocked down. Watertown trying to work out. It's Henning. And he'll skate it to the red line. Over to Botero, who sends it in. Nusiainen try to dump it around. Styles for Thelstrom, on to DeCumbus. 3 Wolves back as DeCumbus left it behind. Here comes Dempwolf with a shot, stopped by Nusiainen. Parsons gloves down the rebound, and now he heads up ice. Tried to go over to Bucell, who is straddling the blue line just to stay on sides. Wolves have not iced the puck. A frantic no icing call by the linesman. So we continue. Federle has Bucell curling, and now on for Marty. Left wing side, his shot kicked out by Colgan. Graspy on for Lord. In the offense zone, backdoor feed, and a good stick there by Adam Heinzel, able to reach out and get a piece of that pass, or else Davide Gaeta would have had a good chance on the back door to tap home the feed from Trevor Lord, as Heinzel was hustling back. I'm not sure if that was Heinzel or Simmons Fisher who got a stick on it. Either way, it kept it from getting all the way to Gaeta. Off the face-off, Johnson tosses it out, glove down by Powell, and it's Graspy turning in. And a handoff to Gaeta, kicked it up to his stick, then lost it. Powell at the blue line. Wrists it off the backboards, indirect feed. Lord couldn't bring it in. Trying to muscle Millette off the puck. Graspy, drop off for Powell. Takes a look, his shot kicked, saving a beauty by Lockney, and he sends Millette the other way. 1-on-1. Millette tried to spin, couldn't get it on net. Graham had it in the slot, decided not to shoot, now he does. And Colgan covers up for a whistle. As Matt Graham was able to pick up that puck in the slot, elected not to shoot, but he does have the hot stick right now on a 5-game goal streak, the longest by a Prowler this season. He'll head back to the bench. Still trying to extend that goal streak. Has not had a tally here tonight. Thelstrom quickly on goal, steered away by Colgan. Thorin tried to poke it out, and puck lands on Newman's tape. Shot swallowed up by Nusiainen. He's got it right in the breadbasket. 11:42 left here in period number 3. A 3-1 lead for the Prowlers. It was once 3-0 in that second period. Then the Wolves got a late tally in the middle frame. Neither team has found the back of the net yet here in period 3. Rimmed around. Federle able to bat it out to Marty. Works in, and he spins back. Try to go back to Heinzel. Gingrich stopped Heinzel's progression down the boards. Federle with the puck, floats it on goal. Bucell tried to glove it down. Instead, Flanagan takes over. Flanagan gets the red line, he dumps it around. And Nusiainen out to play it, pushes it along to James. Sim able to send it deep, delayed offsides against Port Huron, so Sim has to come back and touch up. Despite the stretch from Luke James at the blue line, they say it was a delayed offside. Dershell taking a look. Up the left wing side to Whalen. Gets the red line, gets his way in, it's poked right back out of the zone. Justin Henning this time. Dumps it in, took a hit from Lockhart. Johnson sends it around in Sims' direction, got through him though, and this one will be an icing. No, icing waved off. Good hustle by James. Instead, Luke James has taken a penalty, so maybe he would have preferred if the icing was called. And now a Wolf has jumped a Prowler. It's Whalen who jumped on top of I'm not sure who. So James was going to the box. That was the original penalty called by the referee Paul Jean. And it's Alex Johnson, the one jumped by Andrew Whalen. I didn't see what started that. Whalen may have cost his team a power play here Oh, Johnson came across, threw a hit on Whalen, and then Whalen just dropped his mitts and started punching Alex Johnson as Johnson was still down on the ice. That will certainly be a penalty against Whalen. The question is, what kind of penalty and how will it affect the on-ice manpower here? Both Whalen and James are sitting in the penalty boxes. Again, the original call was coming to Luke James. Wolves were scheduled to have a power play. And we'll see now how it all shakes out. Paul Jean and Jonathan Satarski having the conversation over by the scorer's table. Now Jean giving the explanation to Trevor Lord and Austin Federland. And all of this because of the icing being waved off at the last moment. It was a close race between Dershell and James. They said James won it, and then Luke James took a penalty immediately after. They sent Alex Johnson to the penalty box. And Johnson with some words for Whalen. Whalen now standing up in the box, and I think he's being asked to leave. Indeed, that is the end of the night for Andrew Whalen. Although Prowlers fans cheering with 2 penalties up on the board on their team's side, they put 2 minutes up for both Johnson and James, and then 5 minutes up for Whalen. So this will be a 4-on-3 Wolves power play for 2 minutes, and then a 5-on-4 Prowlers power play for 3 minutes immediately after. You don't see that one too often. Johnson and James will come out of the box together. This is the Wolves' second man advantage of the game, as they send Dempwolf in there to serve the 5. I'll let you know as soon as the penalties come down on my sheet here. They have not yet. It'll be Graspy, Gaeta, Powell, and Lord for Watertown. Dangerous group on the power play. And they'll have to go chase back in their own end. Prowlers starting with Graham Federley and Lockhart to kill. And unfortunately for them, big penalty killer in Alex Johnson in the box right now. Powell. Hands it back off for Lord. Walks the blue line. Over to Powell. Takes a look. Lord with the shot. Stopped by Nusiainen. Lockhart gets the rebound and clears. 35 seconds gone on this power play for Watertown, which again will become a Prowlers power play immediately following the Wolves man advantage. Poked around. And now it's Powell to Lord. Down to Powell again. Up high, Graspy. Takes a look. Powell walks to the middle. His shot, he scores. Kyle Powell from a great scoring area, able to beat Valtteri Nusiainen and pull the Wolves within 1. And as I was saying, it will become a Prowlers power play immediately. This was the only way it wouldn't. We'll actually have 4-on-4 now for 58 seconds, and then a Prowlers power play. The penalties have started to come down. It's Johnson for interference. Whalen gets a fighting major and a fighting after the original altercation game misconduct. Luke James, 2 minutes for tripping. Johnson is the one who's let out of the penalty box. It's a 1-goal game here. Still lots of time up on the clock. We'll have some 4-on-4 action. Sim wins it back, and Brian Persons takes over. As Kyle Powell with his 3rd goal of the year and 59th of his lengthy FPHL career. Persons, home run feed, tipped in by Sim, so no icing. Actually, one linesman said no icing, but somebody blew it dead anyway. Well, the face-off back at center, I believe. Actually, no, they will send it all the way down. So the face-off to Lucianen's left will come after this TV timeout. Kyle Powell has pulled the Wolves within a goal. 9 minutes left to go in regulation. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
EDA, providing local business support for over 70 years. And helping to boost our region's workforce, retain and attract talent. Working to grow the local economy and the flow of money into our community to help businesses be profitable and successful. Focused on improving the region's economic strength and quality of life for residents. To learn more about the EDA of St. Clair County, visit edascc.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Past the midway point of period number 3, Watertown has clawed back within a goal. Still 9 minutes left to go in a regulation. Trevor Graspy picking up the only assist on the goal by Powell, and that is Graspy's league-leading 50th helper, of the season. We'll have 42 more seconds of 4-on-4 time, and then a 3-minute Prowler power play coming up. They'll certainly like to get one on the man advantage after seeing this game drawn a little bit closer. Tristan Sim all by himself. Dances around Powell in the backhand, and that one off of Powell's stick and out of play. As Sim was able to drag it through Kyle Powell. But Powell got his stick back to disrupt the shot. And a nice play there from Tristan Sim. 8:45 left in regulation. Bussell comes out to take the draw against Newman. Or Graspy, pardon me. They tie it up there. Powell up for Gaeta. And off for Graspy. Pulls up at the blue line and harassed by Lockhart. Loose puck. Dershell skates into it. His shot rising and stopped by Nusiainen. So 10 seconds until Luke James is able to leave the penalty box, and then it will be a Prowlers power play. They send out Graham Federley, Lockney, and Johnson, which is most of a power play unit. And it looks like Reggie Millette will come off the bench to complete the unit once James steps out again in 10 seconds. Graham wins it over to Austin Federley, and he'll hang out behind his own net and wait for the power play to begin. So 3 minutes of power play time for the Prowlers. They can score as many times as they like, as it is a major penalty. Johnson, rink wide feed to Lockney. Drops his shoulder, gets behind the net, and he pulls up. 2 Wolves on him. Put it up top, Federley. She's got it back down deep. Graham behind the cage, watched by Dershell. And now Millette pulls it off the half wall. Over to Lockney, takes a look, he shoots off the bar! That hit the crossbar, came straight out. And Millette has to go back to chasing his own end. Wheels back up with speed. Millette makes a move. Still with it, Lockney fires, and a stick save by Colgan. Millette keeps it in at the line. Over to Federley. Wrist shot stopped and held by Brendan Colgan. The Prowlers with some good looks so far on this power play. Still 2:09 left on it. Colgan a couple of saves, and the crossbar another. This will be the second or third post for Port Huron tonight. Definitely Brian Parsons hit one earlier. That was back in the second. This one along the glass all the way down. Lucianen gives it over to Lockhart. Another unit out there now for the Prowlers as Lockhart Watched by Graspy as he gave it off to DeCumbus. And now DeCumbus had the return feed go off his skate. And Lockhart shows Graspy a seat. DeCumbus the other way. Gets in, sends it all the way around. Lucelle keeps it moving for Sim. Now Simmons Fisher. Over to Federley. Lucelle right in front. Federley looking to float it that direction. Goes to Sim. Across to DeCumbus. That one kicked off a skate and back to Sim. Bissell spins out of it and gets to Federley. DeCumbus takes a look. On goal and a save by Colgan as he just went down. As the shot came in, this one tossed out by Graspy all the way down. Minute 3 left on this Prowlers power play. Federley for Johnson. Rink wide feeds, floated over. Millette trying to tip it by Dershell. Graham digging away. Lord able to loft it out, and Trevor Lord's going to the penalty box. Paul Jean was watching that puck the whole way to see if it was going to land in the rink or not, but before it landed in the stands, he knew he was going to take Trevor Lord to the box. And it will be a 5-on-3 for the Prowlers for 44 seconds. And a big opportunity here for Port Huron to regain the 2-goal lead. LA have gained the call against Trevor Lord. Off the face-off, Prowlers set up. Federley over to Lockney. Back to Federley, takes the shot, stopped by Colgan, rebound sits right in front of him. And he's able to clamp the glove on top. I'm actually not sure if that shot did get all the way through to Brendan Colgan or not, but either way, able to get the cover and a whistle on the face-off. Prowlers have 4 shots since the penalties here. And we'll try this face-off once again. 32 seconds left of 5-on-3 time before some 5-on-4 time. Port Huron would certainly like a goal, get another one, little insurance. As Federley walks the blue line. Gives it to Lockney, downhill-ish shot, stopped by Colgan with the blocker. Graham from the corner, out to Federley. And now Millette, 15 to go on the 5-on-3. Lockney takes the shot off the post again, and it's batted out of play. Oh, Lucas Lockney with yet another post on this power play for Port Huron. Lockney has a goal tonight, but has not been able to solve the iron in this third period. Final seconds ticking off the 5-on-3 before it becomes 5-on-4. Millette drags and shoots. That one stopped by Colgan as he got a piece. Graham over to Lockney as Dempwolf hustles to join the play fresh out of the box. It's a 5-on-4 man advantage for Port Huron. The next minute 7. Lockney to Millette. Takes a look, shot deflected, and a kick save by Colgan. Lockney tries to pull it out in front. Federley, a drive. And that one, not sure if it got through on net or not. Prowlers recollect. Millette shot deflected. And again the post. This time it's Matt Graham foiled by the iron. Millette floats it back across. Johnson to Graham. Back into offensive territory. Millette one-timer and Colgan makes the save. Dershell has Thornton breaking, tried to send it his direction, and Johnson got a piece of it. Delayed offsides against Watertown as Johnson goes back to Lockhart. Back to Alex Johnson. 15 seconds left on the Prowlers power play. Simmons Fisher shot. That one may have caught iron as well. I think Colgan also got a piece. Simmons Fisher down the boards. DeCumbus up the wall. And Lockhart gets it back down low. Prowlers' power play is over. And they didn't score, but not for lack of trying. Colgan came up with a couple of big saves, and the post with a few more. Lord trying to split through everybody, couldn't bring the puck with him. And now DeCumbus the other direction, hustling up ice. Bussell tried to feed it across, cut off by the back-checking Botero. Delstrom takes a look over his shoulder, goes to Parsons, gets it right back. Bussell off the glass, and it comes through. Marty with Sim 2-on-1. Marty across, looking for Sim, broken up by Kyle Powell. Graspy leaves it behind the net for Powell. 3:10 left to go in regulation. My clock here on the broadcast is just a smidge behind. Lord took a hit from Marty, and Marty ended up taking the worst of that contact. Puck ends up over the glass, out of play, and a crowd gathers over on the far boards. We'll take our final timeout. Wolves still within a goal after a big PK, 2:59 left in the third.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not
a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We invite you to tune into our next broadcast. That will be tomorrow, Saturday, March 8th, when the Prowlers host the Athens Rock Lobsters on Taking a Shot at Breast Cancer Night. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 6:50. It's all right here on the PHP Network. And of course, if you can make it out here to McMorran Place, come out for a great cause, taking a shot at Breast Cancer Night here in Port Huron. Prowlers trying to stave off a comeback from the Watertown Wolves. They led 3-0 in the second period. It's now 3-2. Under 3 minutes to go, it's Parsons, the backhander that ends up in the near side corner. Graspy. Certainly see a lot of him, Lord, and Gaeta in these final 3 minutes. Graspy gets through and lost the handle. Parsons tried to send Styles up ice. It was knocked down by his own man, Federley. Wolves dump it right back in. Graspy spun around by Parsons. Lord takes control. Up to the top to Powell. Floats it through, and that one ends up in the near side corner. May have hit somebody on the way. Colgan. Long lead pass, trying to catch the Prowlers in a change. Lord, a long range shot. And Lucianen has it in the glove as Millette came flying off the bench to cut down the angle on Trevor Lord. Keep an eye on Brendan Colgan with just over 2 to go. I expect you get a face-off win here for the Wolves. And Colgan might be heading right to the Watertown bench. We'll see when Justin Coachman decides to bring him. Turnaround try off the face-off. Lucianen collects and covers as Carter Thornton was bidding for his second of the night. Another draw to Lucianen's right between Graham and Newman. Newman wins it back this time. Henning, a shot, ends up in the near side corner off the boards. Kept in, Botero, pardon me, that was Della Savita, whose shot was gloved by Valtteri Nusiainen. Colgan taking a look over to the Watertown bench. He will not be pulled quite yet. Prowlers switching up the unit on the ice. They send out Jamie Bissell's line. It's Marty who will take the draw against Newman here. Newman won it back. It's dumped deep all the way around. Johnson trying to spin away from Gingrich. Looking towards Lockhart, catches up to it. Keeps it moving up the wall. Stopped up by Federley and Thornton. They dig away. Colgan, meanwhile, on the other end, inching out of his blue paint, but he'll have to go back as Marty clears the zone. Henning lost his footing. Here comes Marty. Gets the puck again. He shoots, and a save by Colgan. And back the other way come the Wolves. Henning, first one in on the forecheck on that puck. Graspy from a sharp angle, stopped by Nusiainen. And he'll cover up with the glove, clutching it against his pad. Colgan to the bench, so a 6-on-5 attack now for Watertown with 1:02 left to go in a 3-2 hockey game. And the Wolves have called timeout ahead of this face-off deep in Prowler territory. Well, the Prowlers got the start they wanted. Great first period and a goal right at the end of the frame, and then a nice start to the second. Getting a couple of more and building a 3-0 lead. But from there, Watertown got a little momentum near the end of that second period and then carried it into the third. And they got one goal near the end of the middle frame from Carter Thornton, and then a power play goal here in the third from Kyle Powell. And they pulled within one. They have a chance here to steal at least a point from the Prowlers. As Chris Paulin's group breaks huddle, Wolves have Newman, Botero, Graspy, Gaeta, Powell, and Lord. On the ice right now, it's Marty and Newman on this face-off. Rookie Dylan Marty, who had a good opportunity for his first pro goal. Stopped by Colgan in on the draw. Lord shot off a skate. Botero, Graspy, Gaeta bounces around in the blue paint, and Nusiainen has it covered up. Plenty of bodies around, and Valtteri Nusiainen able to find the puck and hang on. Again, empty cage down at the other end. Face-off this time will be to Nusiainen's right. Matt Graham will take it against Newman. Graham, James, Federley, Johnson, and Lockhart out there for Port Huron. Newman wins it back, but splits his defense pairing. So Lord has to come back for it. Rips it in from the red line. Lockhart keeps him moving up the boards. Chopped by Graham just out of the zone. Lord bounces it in. Johnson takes a look towards the empty net. Hit Botero. Bounces down. Graham looking towards the empty cage. A drive, and that blocked by Powell up high. And they'll say he knocked it down with a high stick. So we get a whistle in the face-off, and that will be down deep in Wolves' end. And that is a sizable call at this moment in the hockey game. 26.2 seconds are up on the clock here at McMorran Place. Brendan Colgan has to go back in for this defensive zone draw. Powell just tried to toss it out. Federley gloved it down. And Colgan forced to make a glove save, but he'll keep him moving. Newman with Colgan heading back to the bench. Launches it all the way down, and that's an icing. So Colgan has to go right back in the net with 11.4 seconds left to go. And it's time for the prevent defense for Port Huron. 11.4 and time for one more rush for the Wolves if they win the face-off back. A couple high safeties possibly for the Prowlers here. Graham wins it back. Lockhart keeps it away. Millette to the net. DeCumbis shoots off the post again because why not? It doesn't matter. The Prowlers win it by a final of 3-2 tonight. And they pick up 3 huge points over the Watertown Wolves. As the Prowlers hang on for the win. Final shots 16-14 for the Wolves in the third period. Prowlers with 36-29 win the shots battle tonight. Terry Nusiainen picks up his 15th win of the season for the Port Huron Prowlers. We'll tell you more about why that's relevant coming up in the post-game show. But one more reminder to tune in tomorrow night. Prowlers and Rock Lobsters here from McMorran Place. 7:05 p.m. puck drop and a 6:50 pregame on the PHP Network. But the post-game show is coming up next. We'll break it all down here on the PHP Network.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Will Wiggleman back here to McMorran Place. Prowlers defeat the Watertown Wolves tonight by a final score of 3-2. Time now to go back through this one goal by goal. Well, first and only meeting between these teams this season. It was Valtteri Nusiainen between the pipes for the Prowlers and Brendan Colgan between the pipes for the Wolves. Colgan, of course, already 1-0 against the Prowlers this season, picking up a victory when he was a member of the Baton Rouge Zydeco. And the Prowlers got on the board first after a mostly dominant opening 20 minutes for the home side. They finally found the back of the net as Brian Parsons floated a shot through. Luke James got the deflection, and James, who's been hot as of late, scored some big goals recently. Breaks the ice with his 4th of the year. And then just over a minute into the second, Reggie Millette with a bit of a floater on his backhand towards the net from the blue line. Looked like an innocent enough play. Nothing's innocent when Lucas Lockney is standing in the slot. He turns around and bats that puck past Brendan Colgan for his 11th tally of the season. Just like that, 2-0 Port Huron. A few minutes later, right off a face-off play, Austin Federley found Jamie Bussell all alone in the high slot. And he slipped it along the ice past Colgan 5-hole, and that made it a 3-0 Prowlers lead. Bussell with his 10th goal of the year. Wolves able to punch back though, under 3 to go in that second period. Nice passing play between Lincoln Gingrich, Trevor Newman, and Carter Thornton, as Thornton puts home his 16th of the year. And the Wolves had some life heading into the third. There was some penalty trouble. Really, the only major penalty trouble of the entire game. It ended up with the Wolves on a 4-on-3 man advantage for 2 minutes before what was going to be a 5-on-4 Prowlers man advantage. Well, The 4-on-3 didn't get all the way through the 2 minutes as Kyle Powell scored his 3rd goal of the year and pulled Watertown within one. Trevor Graspy with his league-leading 50th assist of the season on that goal. And the Wolves tried as they might, tried to pull things even, and they just could not. Ran out of time at the end, and the Prowlers, hitting numerous posts throughout this game, especially in that 3rd period, survive and pick up a huge 3 points. Now move to 22, 16, and 6, 67 points. That's just 2 points back now of the Wolves, who are 24, 17, and 2. Wolves will now head down to the Motor City Rockers for 2 more games this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Prowlers host the Athens Rock Lobsters Saturday and Sunday. Big games for both of those teams. But once again, Valtteri Nucianen picking up his 15th victory of the season. That pulls him into a tie with Corey Simon's 2018-19 campaign for the 3rd most wins in a single season in Prowlers history. Also breaks a tie with Wyatt Hofflin for the 6th most wins in a career with the Port Huron Prowlers. Nucianen, of course, in his 1st year as a Prowler. It's been a successful one, certainly, for the Finnish netminder, as he is tonight's 3rd star of the game with 27 saves. Kyle Powell, the 2nd star with a goal, and Jamie Bussell with the game-winning goal, tonight's 1st star. We take one last look at the game stats. Prowlers outshoot the Wolves 36-29 in this game. Watertown with the only power play goal of the night, but lots more penalty minutes, thanks in large part to Andrew Whalen, who got a 5 and a 10 during that whole kerfuffle about midway through period number 3. But not too much to tell you about on the other side, outside of that, on the penalty sheet. Well, when we come back, we'll take one last look around the FPHL, and then we'll wrap this one up here in Port Huron.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Will Wiggleman back one final time here at McMorran Place. Prowlers take down the Wolves tonight by a final of 3-2. Let's take one last look around the FPHL at our out-of-town scores. And the start with the Binghamton Black Bears, who have blown things open in Wytheville 6-1. The Bears leading the Bobcats at this point. Gavin Yates has a couple of goals. Dakota Bond has the most recent one as they play in period number 3. Hat tricks with a 3-0 lead on HC Venom as they get set for period 3. Connor McCullum has not been busy, just 12 shots from the Venom through 40 minutes in that game. Gleb Van Durken and Connor Woolley have added on to Noah Robinson's early tally. Athens Rock Lobsters are up 2-0 on the Motor City Rockers as they play in the third. Brandon Picard and Kason Gallant with the goals for the Lobsters, who are out shooting the Motor City Rockers 44-19. And Trevor Babin has been busy between the pipes for Motor City. Boy, do we have a game in Winston-Salem. That might be the one you want to tune into now, as the River Dragons lead the Carolina Thunderbirds 6-4. Zach White has scored a hat trick to help the Birds claw back into it. It was 5-1 Columbus at one point, but then White with the hat trick in the third period. And they are still fairly early in the third, and Carolina has an opportunity. They've scored on 3 of their first 4 shots of the final frame of regulation. It's 6-4 there. Finally, in Danville, Moccasins up 4-0 on the Dashers. Kevin Zabad, Ben Stepanini, Frank Schumacher have added to Houston Wilson's first period tally, and the Mocs up big in Danville. The Zydeco and Seawolves postponed here tonight. Once again, we invite you to tune in to our next broadcast. That will be tomorrow night, 7:05 p.m. Puck drop here from McMorran Place. Prowlers host taking a shot at breast cancer night against the Athens Rock Lobsters. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 6:50. It's all right here on the PHP Network. For now, thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you to all the Watertown fans. Hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. I know I'm not Jeff Barrett, but I hope I can fill in at least nicely enough for you guys. For Kim running the camera, I'm Will Wiggleman. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the PHP Network.